I need to shoot this video as quickly as possible while I have the chance. I had a dream, and this is very important. I was lying down and I got up and I started eating. I was in there was a man right there laying with me, but we weren't laying in the same spot. Then I got up. My son was on the couch in a far back living room. And I said, I'm over here eating. And my son hasn't eaten. My son is hungry. When I went over to my son, he snatched out my breast. Then he started before he could start nursing, milk started squirting out of this breast. He drank but the milk was squirting out of this other one too. I started to go to the man who was lying down next to me and say, see, I told you. Look at all this milk in my breast. But I didn't, because I didn't want to tell him my business. The baby at first looked like he was around Melbourne's age when I left, when they falsely incarcerated me for protecting us from his father. But when the child first pulled out my breast, the baby looked very young, but older than a newborn. Then I went into a restaurant. I was attempting to get stuff to feed us. There were black people in the restaurant. They were running the restaurant, and then some of them was acting like they was going to help me. Then I had asked them to stay right here, stay right there, stay right here. And none of them was doing anything that I asked them to do. There was a man that walked into the restaurant and asked could he take my son somewhere with him alone. My son had a little ponytail on top of his head. I told the man, I looked at him with a look of death. Like, how dare you try to take my baby anywhere by yourself? I knew that he was a pedophile. I said, why would you want to take him by himself? He was like, oh, we can go. I was just wondering if you would want me to take him somewhere. And I was coming out of the restaurant, and I was by this apartment complex. And the man was still talking to me. I said, give me $20. The man took the $20 and threw it at me. I said, why did you throw it? And it was laying on the ground, and all these other people women ran up to come and get the $20 off the ground that was underneath the steps. A girl that I have recently met, she went to pick up the $20. When I said, I know you got the $20. Then she gave me the money, I believe. And the man was gone around the corner. Then the girl and everybody was gone. I was trying to get people to help us by the restaurant. My son suddenly was not with me anymore. And the people in the restaurant, they were watching me. There were so-called managers walking around and people at the door and sitting in the place, and they were watching me, and the restaurant was empty. Then I grabbed a duffel bag that I had bought, and I was on the bus. When I got on the bus, I told the bus driver, let me off by the restaurant, because for some reason I was going back to the restaurant. And the bus driver stopped by the restaurant, but all of my stuff had been slung around. So I was trying to get my stuff, and there were a bunch of people on the bus. And there were black people, black men and women, saying real mean things to me. Hurry up and get off the bus. And I was telling them, I gotta get my stuff. And I asked the bus driver, can you hold on 1 second? I told the people who were trying to yell at me, I said, I am somebody's a mother. I said, I don't care what y'all talking about. I have children. And then when I went to get off the bus driver had gotten off the bus. And he locked me in on the bus with all those black people and black men. He locked me in on the bus and got off. But he put the bus on auto. And the bus was driving itself. And it was going past all of the bus stops. And it went past the restaurant where I was trying to get off. There was nobody driving the bus. But all these black men and black women were on the bus. And those were the people who were saying mean things to me. Then the bus stopped by somewhere that was supposed to be some train station or transit. It was supposed to be a transit center or something. But there were no other buses. Then this black woman came out of nowhere to say that she was going to be driving the bus. She got on the bus and I asked the lady for a transfer, because the bus that I was on was not going that way anymore to go back to the restaurant. So the black lady gave me a transfer for the bus 28 or 29. I was 28 years old when I was arrested, and I'm 29 years old now. No, I was 27 years old. I turned 28 in the jail. No, I was 20. I know I had a birthday in jail. And I'm 29. So I turned 29 when I was in the jail, I believe. No, because I had 2 birthdays. So I turned 28 in jail. Then I got out and they kept my son from me. They took me to a custody hearing and took my son after the charges were dropped. Then I turned 29. Now, this month I'm about to be 30. And the entire time they've been trying to murder me. And they've been trying to do it my whole life. So the black lady gave me a transfer. The ticket said 28.29. It was supposed to be a bus transfer to take me back by the restaurant where my son was. When I got off the bus, she was driving the new bus. She was supposed to drive the new bus. So I got off. She was supposed to drive the bus that I was on. And I got off the bus to get on a transfer to go back by the restaurant. But when I got off the bus, there were no other buses. There was no transfer. I was in a white neighborhood. It was an apartment complex. And all these young white people came out of their homes. And they had mostly blonde hair. Or dirty blonde brown hair. They came out of their home. They looked like they may have been like students that go to university or something. But they weren't like real in shape, but they weren't fat either. And they all came out of their homes and stood out in the grass. And they were kind of sparring with each other, like it seemed like they were preparing themselves to fight. They had on normal clothing, but I saw a woman and she had on a beast on her face. The beast body was gone, but she had the head of the beast. And she had long hair, a little past her shoulders, that was straight and kind of dirty blonde and brown. And the fur on the beast was very silky and smooth. And it had a snout. It wasn't a pig. The beast was brown. And the head was hollowed out. And she had the head of the beast on her head, on her face, as a mask. I started running through the group of young white people, and they all were coming towards me like they were trying to fight me. I saw a dog, but I wasn't afraid of their dogs anymore. Then I started running through them like a warrior run through a battle. And I ran through all the groups of white people without one of them touching me. Then I hopped on all fours and I started running like a wild animal, like a dog or a gorilla. I kept running and I got up on my 2 feet and I saw the back gate to their apartment complex open up because it was a huge automatic gate. It was huge, bigger than normal, like a castle. They were black gates and it was dark outside. And they opened up, the gates opened up from the inside like that and not ours. When the gates opened up, I said, I gotta hurry up and make it out of these gates. So I ran as fast as I could, like a track star, out the gates. When I got in and made it out the gates, suddenly it became daytime. And there was like a street. And then this black man pulled up on me real quick. And there was a black woman and another black man with him. And he was saying, you could come to my house and get some food. I'm about to go and eat. I was like, yeah, that sounds good, but is the woman going to let me come over there to her house? The woman was looking like she didn't want me to come. And then she said she didn't know me like that to have me in her house. And so then the man that was with them, he started making excuses for her to let him bring me over, at least for a little while. So the man was like, oh, you can come over for a little while and take a shower and get some food. And then the woman was looking a little upset, like tired. And then it seemed like she was trying to tell me something about the bus transfer. Like she was trying to tell me something about my son and what people are trying to do to keep my son.